Powered by nuclear energy.
Hi, this is DJ Mondo, and welcome to the Atomic Luau. And welcome back to another episode of DJ Mondo's SketchLab. This is the show within a show where I show some of my drawing techniques. People often ask me who does the artwork for your websites and for your social media pages. I do that artwork, and I do it because I'm a real big fan of comic book art, and I like to enhance all of my stuff as well as my music with some of that artwork. And I'm a real big fan of old style classic comic books art, which is why I'm doing this little demonstration of how I draw some of the stuff that I draw. If you'll recall, this is the 14th episode, I believe, of SketchLab. I haven't done an episode in a while. I initially planned to do them once a week, but I'm really not that punctual. So, and also I get lazy and I do little side projects and stuff too. So that's why I haven't dropped one of these in a little while. But we're going to continue where we left off. If you do recall these, you know that I'm doing an homage to the cover of the Incredible Hulk #1, originally drawn by Jack Kirby back in like 1965. And but I'm replacing the character of the Hulk and Bruce Banner with my own characters, Dr. Sim and DJ Mondo, on that homage cover. And you guys may have also seen, I like to do these cover homages to artists and comic book covers that I like, and kind of stick my own characters in their place because I'm really kind of odd like that. But you may remember, if you've been keeping up on Instagram, you may remember a drawing that I did of Akira, of a movie poster. It was a mock-up of an Akira poster, but I replaced the character Kaneda with DJ Mondo and replaced the motorcycle with a set of turntables. But I like doing stuff like that. But it's not a blatant rip-off, but it's more like an homage to comic book artists that I like and stories that I like. I'm going to continue with the Hulk cover here in a few minutes, but I know you're asking yourself, hey, that's drawing a DJ Mondo on the screen there, but it's not typically what you were drawing before. And, oops, hold on. Let's get back into the iPad here. That's not what you were drawing before, and you're correct. This is actually another project here, but I put this up here as kind of a sneak preview of an item that I'm actually working on, so I can show you guys here. I don't know if I want to get too deep into this, but I just want to explain the concept here. I'm doing a drawing where the characters are going to be silhouettes with some different backgrounds, much like the little piece of animation that you see here in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, where DJ Mondo is superimposed over those flashing lines in the visualization there. I'm going to do something similar with the characters that are over here on the right, but there's going to be a bit more animation involved here, and the reason I have them in those kind of silhouetted poses there is because I'm going to use those lines on there as kind of a highlight. And I don't know if you've been following, but Dr. Sim is of course a giant robot, but he has an internal power source. But I'm going to move this drawing that I'm doing in Procreate right now, but I'm going to move it into another animation program called Clip Studio Paint. And in Clip Studio Paint, you can actually animate some of the elements in the drawing, and one of them is opacity. You can change the opacity over time in the drawing, and so what I'm going to do is use that to create flashing lights on Dr. Sim. And so, just kind of a demo here. I'll show you. If you look at Dr. Sim here, he has been broken down into several layers, and those layers contain the highlights on his suit, those stripes there, and also those lights that are on his repulsor field emitters there. But you can adjust the opacity on those and to make them brighter or darker, and these are one of the things that you can control in over a timeline in Clip Studio Paint. When you animate it, you can have a whole layer kind of fade in out of nowhere, because you can change the opacity of it. And the concept here is I'm going to import this into Clip Studio Paint and use the timeline to adjust the opacity and create an animated clip of his glowing portions here, using the same thing here that I'm doing manually right now in Clip Studio Paint, but I'm going to do it automatic. I'm doing it manually right now here in Procreate, but I'm going to do it automatically in Clip Studio Paint to create this glow effect. And the same thing for DJ Mondo. Some of his highlights are going to glow like that. But again, it just shows an example of I kind of like drawing in Clip Studio Paint. But it doesn't have some of the features that Procreate has for drawing, and but you can easily export drawings from Procreate and import them into Clip Studio Paint to finish them off with animation techniques or some of the other tools that it has. But both tools are you can do some great artwork in both tools, but you can use these tools in conjunction with each other if one of them has certain tools that you're more comfortable with. So, but that's just a little sneak peek of something that I'm going to be finishing off in Clip Studio Paint and probably posting to Instagram or to my website later on. But keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and get back into the drawing for the main drawing here, which is going to be the homage cover to the Incredible Hulk. And let's jump in there and we'll pick up where we left off. So let's again break down the layers here. Put that off to the side. And again, that's the sample that we're working from here, that Hulk cover. We left off doing the spectacular word balloons that are going to be on the front cover here. I'm drawing them oversized, but then of course we can move them into place later on. But it was also fun working with the text on this drawing. So again, Procreate has some good text tools on there. It's a little bit of work, to get exactly what you want, but I do like working in those with those text tools. So let's turn off a couple things here and see what we got here. That's going to be our DJ Mondo logo there. We've got some more The Strangest DJ of All Time here. Techno As You Like It. These are all word balloons that are going to be mirroring the elements that are on the Incredible Hulk cover. Is he both? I got to finish this off. That's going to be that's going to be in the dot that's on the stylized question mark that's going to appear, and that's the question mark. Is he man or machine? And then it will go. Is he both? In another. I got to create the dot for this stylized question mark here, and turn off all the logos. And let's go back again over the elements. There is the DJ booth again. We're going to do some finishing there because it's going to have the Atomic Luau logo on it. Got DJ Mondo here, and with some blue highlights. He's going to have some more highlights on top of them, much like the stripes that are in that previous drawing that I was showing you there. And there's Dr. Sim, and who's got some secondary lighting there. He came out pretty good. We've got this crowd that we still need to finish off. I don't know if I want to put that crowd in there. I might swap that crowd out for some background characters that I have in mind, some security guards or police or something like that. But they're futuristic police for that are kind of going to be in the story here. And what else here? What else did I leave out? I think that's all of the elements here. But you'll notice also that all of the elements are in their own their own little layer groups, you know, because DJ Mondo can further be broken down into his highlights and his inks and colors. So, and that's the good thing about these applications. Now you can go ahead and group everything so that it all becomes a single element, but you can break out any portion of it that you want if you want to change. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the logos here. And let's turn Mondo off for a second, get back into finishing off this logo here, and it's gonna look like this question mark here is gonna be kind of like that question mark on the Incredible Hulk cover there. So I've got to create another element here for the dot on that question mark, which is essentially a yellow, going to be a yellow circle that's going to house that that is he both set of words there. So let's create another layer above this layer and draw a circle. That is nowhere near thick enough. And actually, what tool am I working in here? That's a studio pen. So let's bring that up a bit and make that a little bit thicker. There we go. And we're going to do a fill of this color here, so it's the same color. And we're going to take those words and with the move tool on top here. This could be a little bit bigger. And then what I'm going to do is going to merge down and make that the dot in that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the words are still in their own layer here. I'm going to merge it down with that dot, and then we're going to move it into place, and then we're going to group. And then we're going to merge down into the to make the complete question mark here. So let's merge that down. Oh, and actually, let's start our timer here. We don't want to go forever. Let's go ahead and put 30 minutes on the clock here since I've started working. All right, clock is ticking, 30 minutes. Okay, so now that that dot of is he both is a single line here. I mean, is a single element, and let's move that into place under the question mark. It's small. Probably should have made that line a bit thicker here. I can go back in so I don't mess it up. Let's put it in its own layer again. Go back to black again. Another line. There we go. That's a little better. Bolder lines. Especially if you're doing Kirby style, you want bold lines here. All right, so let's merge that down. And I'm not going, I'm not going to baby this. I'm going really fast through all of this because I don't want it to take forever. I know I have a tendency sometimes to keep working on a project until it's, and try to go into every little detail, and sometimes you just don't have time for that. So, and I didn't intend for this to get too deep or too detailed. Okay, so there we go. There's our other logo, and again, it's going to be its own element here. So I'm going to merge this one down. I'm going to merge this layer down with this layer so that they become the same layer. Here we go. Now they're a single element. just like the question mark on our sample. And then eventually we can start putting these into the place where they're going to be on the cover. Okay, great. All right, so let's turn that off for a second here. Let's go into DJ Mondo. And we're going to bring in our other element of the strangest DJ of all time. Let's resize that here. And it's not quite like, and actually let's change the position of these two here, because we want the DJ Mondo one on top. So let's change the size of this. Uniform scale down. Oops. I keep resizing it when I'm trying to move it. There we go. I don't know if this application has alignment tools like Photoshop or something like that, but because sometimes you may want things to be perfectly centered. And why does this keep moving when I'm trying to just try to resize when I just keep trying to move it? Okay, that's better. And we're going to do this by eye, so okay, great. It'll be about the same. I don't know. I guess I could make it a little bit smaller. We don't want it to overpower. And if we do want to resize it again, I'm going to merge those two layers together, the DJ Mondo logo and also the box hunter at the strangest DJ of all time. So let's merge these two down. And again, they're now in the same layer. Turn them on and off at the same time. It'll make them easier to move around since they should be centered. Okay, and what's next? There is the Fantasy As You Like It, or Techno As You Like It in my case. And I'm going to roughly put these elements in the same place that they're located in. So let's turn that on and turn this on. All right, so let's go to the question mark, move, and resize, scale that down to about right there. This is going to be a really tight fit for these elements. I'm probably going to end up making the figures a bit smaller than I thought they were going to be, but that really doesn't matter because everything's relative here. And I can scale that down. You can scale anything to just about any size here. So right about there. And let's put the other item on the other side. And again, nothing here is written in stone. These are all the approximate locations of where everything is going to be once it's done. So there we go. It's going to be a lot smaller. Okay, so right about there. And I just realized I didn't give DJ Mondo an adjective like the Incredible Hulk. He's not just the Hulk, he's the Incredible Hulk, you know. So DJ Mondo needs an adjective. Maybe I'll save that for next time, but is he like the daring DJ Mondo or the magnificent DJ Mondo? I don't know, something like that. Put it there, or I'll just leave space for it. So there we go. So let's look at the what the approximate placing is going to be. And if I put Dr. Sim in here, he's going to fall right about, scale him. We can scale him all at the same time. Right about there. And I think he should be brought to the front because he's going to be in front of those. He'll be a little bit bigger. And maybe those elements will be a little bit smaller. His shoulders might obscure that stuff, though, if we bring him to the front. But again, nothing here is written in stone, but this is the effect that I'm going for here. All right, so there's that. And Mondo will fall in right about here. About the same size as Dr. Banner represented on here, but maybe a little bit bigger. So we can scale him up. We can scale Mondo up just a little bit. Why does he have such a huge scale box? There's something else in here that I'm not seeing. Scale him up just a little bit. He'll probably be right about there. But I don't want him to create odd tangents with Dr. Sim. And we still got to leave room for the DJ booth that's going to be in front of both of them. So maybe about right there. Again, nothing in stone yet. We can still resize anything here. But I think we do have an idea of what the layout's going to be like. I'm also going to recreate those little elements like the 12-cent stamp up there and the Comics Code Authority stamp, and some of the other elements there. But this is basically how it's going to turn out here. What else are we missing here? Logos. All right. So our DJ booth is going to pop up here. I don't know. I kind of wish I'd put Dr. Sim's arms up a bit higher because it looks like they're going to be obscured by the DJ booth, which should be a bit higher. But we can also scale it. Let's see what the DJ booth is going to look like here. The booth itself, if we scaled it up to a decent size, it's going to sit right about there. Yeah. That's not the greatest composition ever because a lot of the detail in Dr. Sim is going to be kind of obscured by the booth and by DJ Mondo, and the booth isn't like an odd size too. It should sit a little bit higher but again, it doesn't have to be to exact scale. So yeah, definitely we've got a better idea at least of what the final is going to look like here. And I could also do things like, if the placement of Dr. Sim's arms is bad, I could always duplicate them and chop it up and move them around so that you can see more detail there. But that's pretty much how it's going to fall. Not really sure what I'm going to do with the background, but I like to tend toward disco light kind of backgrounds here, so that might I could do some multicolored or maybe some gradients or something in the background, something to break it up, and then some lines to break it up like disco lights or reflections or something like that. But all right, I like the way it's turning out. So next on the agenda is some kind of superlative for DJ Mondo across the top, for the DJ Mondo logo across the top. And then we'll work on layering this, because if you'll notice in the Hulk cover, the the word balloons, the splash balloons, are actually kind of behind the Hulk in that drawing there, so I'm going to have to put these in the back. That'll mean scaling them down a little bit so that the words don't get obscured by Dr. Sim's shoulders. And maybe I can also make him a little bit bigger. We can also scale him asymmetrically to maybe even make him wider than he is. By scaling him kind of asymmetrically and non-uniformly, at least scale him out instead of up, and which will make him look a bit stockier, and will kind of add to his hugeness. So as a matter of fact, let's do this. If we close the logos, and actually let's move the logos to the back and see what that looks like behind. Move the logos behind Dr. Sim. And that's good. Dr. Sim's out front. We can then scale those to get them a bit. There we go. Out of the way so we can see those a little more. Okay, here we go. And what about the other side? And scale it down. And here we go. Okay. All right, let me shaping up. Let's turn off some of these elements here, and what do we want to do? I keep leaving I keep deflecting from the crowd because I'm trying not to think about it. But okay, so why don't we start working on the DJ booth and putting some colors in there. Let's turn off the other elements here and turn off the logos and go for the DJ booth since it's going to be out front, and we can figure out what elements we want there. Let's turn off that for a moment. And the booth itself, we're going to, wait a minute, those are shadows. The shadows should be in front of the inks, or should they? There we go. Turn those on. Don't know what colors the booth is going to be, but we're going to make the booth the reference here. And what colors are we going to put in there? It's going to be like midnight blue. Who knows? All right, and we got to create a color layer for the booth itself, which is going to be behind the ink and behind the shadow layer. No, actually, I think I had this right before. There we go. Okay, shadow layer is there, and our reference layer is turned on. Just using a basic blue here. All right, and then let's go in with more. I'm going to do some Kirby-esque sort of colored lines in here. Oops, let's get another color in the layer here, And I'm just going to make it as odd as possible. So let's use that. Nope. Too large a line here. Bring down that. There we go. Like that bizarre orange against the we want that? No, we don't want that. Yeah. Just some freaky pattern on here, because yeah, Kirby liked a lot of those bizarre Aztec looking straight line designs, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring here. You know, alien technology looking. Yeah, but this isn't too far out. Not like Jack Kirby's drawings. I have no. Ugh. Let's go. Let's make sure this doesn't bleed. No, it still bleeds through. All right, that's fine. I'll just color it in. All right. Let's just have some fun with this. Just creating straight lines. Don't really mean anything, but our Atomic Luau logo is going to be sitting on top of this. So what does it mean? And people ask you, well, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's just a bizarre design pattern that I have in here. So, and I love the way this thing's, squares off and draws straight lines or perfect ellipses and things like that. Procreate is really great for that. So like some kind of hieroglyphs or something on it. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be some kind of bizarre sarcophagus that he has his DJ equipment on top of. Alright, so you can come back in here and put some stuff in like that. Just anything to break up the monotony of that blue. Oops. I got a stray mark out here. Oh, that's the eraser. Went back to my eraser. There we go. Those elements, maybe it's like some kind of ancient circuit board. Yeah. I know this is kind of a Kirby homage, but there is no way that I could match him doing those bizarre technological drawings that you see in a lot of those elements. Let's make sure that this is full. That edge right there, I think that should be blue. That as well. And that too. Let's go back to yellow. Mark that in there. And one more across the top here. Straight line there. There we go. Okay, can't say it looks spectacular, but let's see what it looks like if we put a logo on top of it. This inserted image, and let's take the opacity down here because we're going to erase the other elements off of here. Actually, let's do this. Make the rest invisible so we've got just the background here, and then we can erase those elements. I'm gonna have to do this by hand, but that's okay. So give me an eraser here. Actually, let's draw this. It's easier to draw a marquee around it and erase what we don't need. Nope. There we go. Get rid of that. And in here. Yeah, much easier to draw a marquee and erase what we don't need. If there's an easier way to do this in Procreate and you know it, please by all means tell me, because anything that you can do to save time while you're drawing this is definitely welcome. So I've never worked professionally in art, but if you're doing concept drawings or something for video games or something, everybody wants to be the quickest artist because that's how you get your ideas out there the quickest. If somebody asks you for a concept, you want to be able to bang it out really fast. But I've never been in that kind of environment with my artwork where I've had to do that. So if you have and you know of a quick way to do things in Procreate, by all means, let me know. Maybe there is some kind of selection tool that'll just select the white elements in color, and then you can just just erase those out, or at least hit delete. If this were Photoshop, I'd just select and hit delete, but it's not. So let's do this and come down the other side, then we'll get some of those other smaller elements out of there. Alright, across the top. Start again. There we go. And erase it out. Alright. Okay, get that out of there. Let's get these little stray marks out. That's gone, that's gone. Get this out of here. And let's see how much of this we can get out of the logo. Oh, and there's time. Alright. Anyway, I was getting this logo in shape to add to the front of DJ Mondo's DJ booth in this drawing here, so it would probably fit right about here. And we'll scale it down and see what the color layer. See what it looks like next to the color layer. Probably not much, not like much right now, but if we put the color layer on top of it, it's going to be really busy and really terrible. I may need to put an outline or something on there so that it jumps out. But that's the concept, is those two tiki masks in front of that weird, bizarre circuit design. I could probably, if that color doesn't work, I can trash that whole layer and start all over again. Okay, and one last time, let's go for a rerun of all of the strokes here, of all of the recorded strokes. This might be the last time I do it. This rerun of the color strokes gets longer every time I do it, and of course the file gets bigger, but let's see what it looks like at least one more time here of a time-lapse replay. So and here we go. Dr. Sim, rough of DJ Mondo, and rough logos, rough crowd. Oh, the sensational DJ Mondo. That's it. Okay, yeah, I got to make another layer for sensational. That's what I decided on. I forgot that part of it. All right, Dr. Sim's armor. And color roughs. I might add some more color to this, some more glows. I really want to learn how to add more glows and more special effects. I haven't been really good at that. You can kind of insinuate it straightforward, but there are some techniques where you use the different layer settings to create those glows and things, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I got to look up some tutorials to how to figure that out. But some people get really excellent lighting and secondary lighting effects from using different layer techniques and from layering, and I want to learn how to do that. I'm not really good at that, but I want to try it. And again, like I said, I'm going for more speed here than detail. But once this drawing is finished, at least for this demo that I'm doing, I may go back and put in some more different lighting elements and things like that, and of course you preserve a copy where all of the layers are preserved, so you can trash or create a new layer as you want it, or a new element as you want it, without having to trash the rest of the drawing. So as long as you keep that a copy of the layered drawing with you, you can also make any kind of changes that you want on it, and see what works better, see what version works better than the previous one. So here we go. Dr. Sim came out pretty good. I had a lot of fun working on Dr. Sim. And looks like we're about halfway done with the playback here. So we'll see what else. And DJ Mondo is going to have another layer of stripes to go on top of the ink layer. That black T-shirt has some stripes on it. I don't know if you saw it in the previous drawing. There are some other glowing design elements there. The shadow work is always fun. Shadow gets its own layer. Then down to the color. That's when it really starts to get fun. Mid-tones. Put on a gray background, a nice neutral gray background, so that you can test your colors against it. Do more elements. I think he's going to get his stripes soon. Highlights and midtones. I think I was working on his face at that point. I hadn't really zoomed in yet. Skin tones. Here he goes. Let's see, he's got blues on it. I also want to put an equalizer, a graphic equalizer display on DJ Mondo's chest. It usually kind of bumps up and down when he listens to music. I'm going to animate that as well. That's another thing that I was going to do with that previous drawing that I was showing you, was to animate a chest display for DJ Mondo as well. There we go. There's Kong's racing stripes. There's the Doctor's racing stripes. Here we go. Good text work on in Procreate. So glad they added text to Procreate. Move those layers around. There's our ancient circuit board. And that's where we left off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clean up that logo a little bit later, and then dive into more of the layout of putting the elements in the proper place before we get a background that we like, and we'll figure that out in the meantime. Anyway, that's time. Thanks for watching. This is the end of episode 14 of DJ Mondo's Sketch Lab. Like I said, I want to try to do these with some kind of regularity, but it doesn't always work out like that. And sometimes I do little side projects and stuff too, just to do them. Always be drawing. ABD. Always be drawing. Always be closing for all you Glenn Ross fans. It's always be drawing. But let me know if you like it. Leave a comment if you like, and if you know a faster way to do some of the things that I'm doing here, by all means let me know. I'd like to save some time. And if you've got any drawings that you've done, send me an email, or DJ Mondo at djmondosrave.com, or check out djmondosrave.com, the website, the blog. There are links to all of my social media sites there. I'd definitely like to see what you're doing and what comic books you're into, and what animation and special effects that you might be doing as well. Thanks for watching. I was going to try to live stream this. Not a lot of people are watching the live streams, but we can always go into the previous episodes and see where we left off from here. Anyway, this is DJ Mondo signing off. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time. Bye.